Hey, fifth graders, Miss James here. Today we're going to be learning how to multiply a fraction by a whole number, and we're going to be using a tape diagram to help us do that. Today we're going to see a lot of different types of problems, so I'm going to give quite a few examples so that you can see how the different types of problems are solved. And you can pause the video at certain places. I'll direct you. You can pause the video to get some practice on a certain type of problem before moving on to the next one. All right, so we want to find what is 3/5 of 35. Well, first thing I want to do is I want to figure out, well, what's 1/5 of 35? So I'm going to use a tape diagram to help me. I'm going to draw tape diagram. I know that 35 is the total, and I want to break it up into fifths. So to find 1/5 of 35, I'm really doing 35 divided by 5, which is 7. And then if I want to find 3/5, I need to do 7 3 times. So 1/5 of 35 is 7. And then to find 3/5 of 35, I need to do 7 times 3, which is 21. So 3/5 of 35 is 21. So this is 1/5, 2/5, 3/5. And all together, that makes 21. What I really just did was I did 3/5 times 35, and I got 21. So you might sometimes see it written as 3/5 of 35. Sometimes you might see it written as 3/5 times 35. Those mean the same thing. So what you can do is find one of the fraction, 1/5 of 35, a unit fraction, and then multiply by the numerator to figure out how many would be in that part. All right, let's do a couple more problems. Aurelia buys 2 dozen roses. Of the roses, 1/6 were white and the rest are red. How many red roses did she buy? Well, first I need to know how much is 2 dozen. So 1 dozen is 12. So 2 dozen is 24. So she bought 24 roses. Let me draw my tape diagram. And I know that 1/6 were white and the rest were red. So let's figure out how much was of each. So this 1/6 was white and the rest were red. I can see from my tape diagram, if 1/6 was white, then 5/6 were red. So first let me figure out, okay, well, what's 1/6 of 24? To do that, I need to do 24 divided by 6. I know that 24 divided by 6 is 4. So 1/6 of 24 is 4. So let me show that each part has 4 in it. So I know that 1/6 was 4. So 4 roses were white and the rest were red. So I could either take my total, 24, and I could subtract the amount that were white and I could get 20. Or if I know that 5/6 are red and each 6 has 4, I can do 4 times 5 to get 20. If I wanted to show that in my tape diagram, these are the ones that are red. 5, 6 are red. So 5 times 4 is 20. 20 roses are red. So this would be a good time to pause and do student try it number 1. But I'm gonna keep going. So I'm gonna do number 3. So slightly different type of problem. Rosie had 17 yards of fabric. She used 1/3 of it to make a quilt. How many yards of fabric did Rosie use for the quilt? So I'm going to draw my tape diagram. I know that she had a total of 17 yards. And she used 1/3 of it to make a quilt. So I need to figure out 1/3 of 17. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, 17 can't really easily be divided by 3. But I know that I can write 1/3 of 17 as 17/3. That's another way to think of 17 divided by 3. And then I can rewrite this as a mixed number. So I can think 3 goes into 17 5 times. There's a remainder 2, 2/3. So if this is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 of 17, in each group is 5 2/3, because 17 divided by 3 is 5 2/3. So I can say she used 5 2/3 yards for her quilt. The main way that this problem was different is that my quotient was a fraction or a mixed number. But we know that we can divide, we can rewrite division problems as fractions. So use that knowledge to help you. This would be a good time to pause and do student try it, problem number 2. I'll keep going. 2/3 of a number is 8. What is the number? So this problem's a little different because they're telling me a part and I want to figure out the whole. So let me draw a tape diagram, and I know that it's split into thirds. And I know that 2/3 is 8. So if 2/3 is 8, I can easily figure out what 1/3, I'm gonna just label that I don't know the total here. I don't know what the whole is. But I can easily figure out what 1/3 is. If 2 of these parts make 8, and they're in equal groups, then each of these 2 parts is gonna be 4. So because 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 1/3 of whatever number this is, we'll figure it out soon, is 4, sorry. So if each of these groups is 4, I know that all parts of this tape diagram have to be equal. So this third part is also gonna be 4. So now I can figure out my whole number because I have 3 groups of 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So the number is 12. This problem will be similar, but kind of putting it into a word problem form. So Tiffany spent 4/7 of her money on a teddy bear. If the teddy bear cost $24, how much money did she have at first? So this problem is similar because we just know a part and we don't know the total. But I can still use that tape diagram to help me. So I know for sure that it's split into 7 parts because it's telling me about 4/7 of it. So I'm going to split my tape diagram into 7 parts. I'm going to show that I don't know the total, but I do know 4/7 of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4/7 is 24. So I can figure out what 1/7 would be. If I have 4 groups and I know that they make 24, I need to do 24 divided by 4, and I get 6. So 1/7 is 6. So that means each of these parts, each 7th has to be 6. Let me just pause and review what I just did. I knew that 4 of these groups were 24. 4/7 was 24. 24 divided by 4, because I know that each group has to be equal, is 6. And since every part in the whole thing has to be equal, I know each part is going to be 6. So if I want to find the total, I know I have 7 groups of 6. 7 times 6 is 42. So she had $42 at first. All right, this would be a good time to go practice student try it number 3 and to start your independent practice.